So you like 90s music?
I did when I was in the 90s.
Somewhere. There we go. So now I can just walk through the lava without getting hurt at all.
I'd get a tiny bit hurt.
Like putting on sunglasses and staring at the sun.
So there's a little cavern over that way. I think Solaire's hanging out over there.
Sweet. Good Solaire or infested Solaire?
No, regular Solaire. He's a little depressed at this point.
Oh.
So
Let's go cheer him up.
to
This
the
is
left.
not a secret wall.
Nope.
Then it's very
Yeah, it looks like
misleading.
it's supposed to be something.
Yeah, further left.
There you go. Yeah, it's hard to see with with the glare of the lava.
Need a ring for that. Just warming up at the hearth. So they probably enjoys this.
Why?
Because. Because.
After all this,
Porqué. Porqué.
Quoi? Quoi?
why? Why?
I'd love to hear a Spanish version of Solaire.
I still cannot find it.
I think it's a Spanish name.
Kind
Solaire.
of. Soleil. So, this is... You can skip this part by going through that shortcut that we opened up. Which
Okay.
I would recommend because
Alright.
it's kind of annoying to go this way.
Yeah.
But it's up to you.
You were going to explain what's in here?
Oh, well, I mean, it's all lava.
Alright.
So there's that part. But there's also a bunch of these enemies, which are like the leftover legs of dinosaurs or
It's good to
dragons. I don't know, they're just like the legs, and they'll come over and attack you, and they're humongous, and they try and like step on you and smash you. And they also have a tail, and so they'll try and tail whip you.
Okay, where's the first one of these? In there?
Mm-hmm. You know, what I discovered fairly recently is you can actually zoom in with the bow. So pull out the bow, I'll show you. So if you do the left trigger, if you press forward on the D-pad,
Woo.
it zooms in a little bit. I
Woo.
hadn't known about that for a long, long time. So yeah, these guys, I don't much like fighting these guys. Are you actually going to try and fight them?
I'll just take a look. It's just the legs, huh?
And the tail.
Interesting.
There is one advantage if you were to try and fight them. If you pull multiple ones, there are generally places where you can hide that they can't get to you, like they can't get through that little alcove. So you can kind of hide from them, and if you pull multiple ones at the same time, they can actually hurt each other. And so as they're like stomping around and trying to hit you, they'll hit each other and kind of kill each other off that way.
Just like Doom.
So I would probably warp to the Chaos Shrine, the Daughter of Chaos. Go down the elevator. And there was one night last week where I could not fall asleep.
Okay.
I was up until 7 a.m.
I think I heard you. At 3 a.m.
Really?
Were you browsing on your phone at all? At 3 a.m. this week?
I was at one point I started watching, have you ever watched the Red Letter Media review of Star Wars?
No.
Where it's Plinkett. He's like, here's the problem with Star Wars. There's no protagonist.
No.
Never watched those? Oh, they're so funny and also very, very insightful. And so I was watching his review of Episode 1. which I've seen plenty of times before. But yeah, it was, I don't know, I couldn't fall asleep. It was awful.
Should take a sleepy pill.
I don't want to become dependent.
Oh boy.
Why did you do that?
Ah, I'm dropping.
But yes, I do. If you did not like the prequels of Star Wars, then I recommend watching either Plinkett's review or Red Letter Media is what it's actually called, because he tears them apart and it's awesome.
The prequels, as in the 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So yeah, if you hadn't saved him, he'd have the bug on his head and he'd attack you.
Was Dole alive? Have I done Dole for nothing?
Oh no.
Dear son, what now? What should I do? My son. My dear, dear son.
Just got nerves of steel.
A couple of points that he makes that are really good in the review is, like I was saying before, there's no real identifiable protagonist of episode 1. Like, you know, obviously Luke Skywalker is the protagonist of the originals, but there's no real protagonist of episode 1, because it's like, it's not really Qui-Gon Jinn. It's not really Obi-Wan, because he stays on the ship when they land on Tatooine, so he's like gone. And it's not really Anakin, because we don't meet him until half the movie's over, and we don't really identify with him at all. He doesn't really have an arc or anything. So yeah, there's no one we're really identifying with or following. Another point he makes is that the characters are all very flat. He issues a challenge to people during the review. He gets some of his friends together. Oh, you didn't rest. Are you still wearing that one ring?
No.
Oh, you switched it? Okay.
Thanks for paying attention.
So he gets some of his friends to describe some of the Star Wars characters without saying their name, without saying their profession, and I think there was another caveat.
Okay.
So like he says Han Solo, he's like, well, he's dashing, he's kind of a rogue, he, you know, plays by his own rules.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's very identifiable that way. And then he's like, now describe Qui-Gon Jinn. He's like, well, he's stoic, I guess. And then they describe C-3PO, I think, and then try and describe, you know, Queen Amidala, and she's like, I guess she's young. So they really struggle with actually describing the characters, because they don't really have identifiable traits or anything. And also the plot is super convoluted and doesn't make sense. And you think, like, he brings up the point that it's a movie for children, ostensibly, but, you know, the basis of the conflict is, you know, some sort of trade blockade or something, and they're sending in Jedi to negotiate for some reason, and they like leave and they go to Coruscant, and there's some sort of like gathering of senators, and there's like a vote of no confidence, whatever that's supposed to mean. like I can't even follow it as an adult.
That was probably my biggest issue with them.
Yeah. I do remember, I was fairly young when they came out, and I do remember thinking that they were awesome. Especially episode 1. I was okay with episode 2 at first, and then by the time episode 3 came out, I was old enough to recognize how stupid they were. should be interesting to see what happens with the new Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Considering just George Lucas doesn't have totalitarian control over it. So you can, most of the time I'll just run past this guy.
Yeah, that's probably a good strategy. Yeah.
See ya.
Just can't kill me now.
Oh man. He's got the bones. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Ah,
But he's got the bones.
got them bones. Have you ever worried that you might be autistic?
Yes. Yes, I have. Because, I mean, obviously I'm high functioning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm terrible when it comes to social stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And autism's, like, it seems like the spectrum is getting wider and wider and including more and more
Pretty
people.
soon it's gonna start absorbing us.
I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. It seems like, because obviously it's hard to identify what exactly defines someone as normal when, we're all different in every possible aspect. It's hard to draw the line specifically somewhere and say, okay, people on this side are normal and people on this side are autistic. So, I mean, it could be that, it's just a matter of definition. Like, how do you define autism? Is it someone that isn't very good socially? In that case, yes, I'm autistic. Or is it that, I'm a normal person who just doesn't do very well socially,
You faked me out there. I think the originating idea is basically like, if it's a condition, there's probably some sort of switch that gets flipped in your brain. But then if it's a spectrum, it's more like a dial, right?
Sure.
So how do you draw a line there?
Yeah. I think really, especially at this point in the time, it's just, man, he's strong. So you might try and lock onto him and hold up your shield as you're strafing
Okay.
around him and then back away towards the other exit. Yeah, it's all, I mean, everything within medicine is all just, it comes down to definition. How do you define something?
Mm-hmm.
So, and when it comes to psychology, that's one of the hardest things to pin down in absolute terms.
Yeah, I took a quiz online someone linked to
Mm-hmm.
about autism.
And how did you fare?
There was like, above a certain number, you should go see a doctor. Within like a small range, you maybe have it. And below that, you probably don't. And I scored just below that.
Nice.
But I was like, if I took this quiz a few years ago, I really probably would have scored higher.
What kind of test was it? Was it like multiple choice? Did it have questions about social, like what do you do when you're in this social situation or
Yeah, it's
something?
basically like, how well do you think this statement applies to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how much I trust online testing.
Hey, it cleared me. So,
Although I do have like 130 IQ, so
yeah,
who am I to complain?
I got like 140. So, a little better over here.
It's been a few years since I took it, so maybe we'll just see.
Probably gotten better at the test.
Sure. I do remember, I think the first IQ test I took was like in 8th grade English class for some reason. I did fairly well. I think I got like 142 or something like that. And then, I've taken various online versions over the years. I can't really remember what I scored. Is pretty sure I've always scored high. So I think generally speaking, I'm above average intelligence, which I'm okay with. Because I make up for it with below average social ability.
Pendulum swings both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I should point out for the viewers that we have 2 autistic cousins from different families.
They're both on the same side of the family, though, right?
Yeah. It's not a good situation here.
Got 2 of them. A thought. Now I can't remember.
I'm sure if I speak a lot, you won't be able to remember it at all. So,
Well, it
it's
was
some
about,
sort of petty revenge I'm getting against you here.
I'm sure it was about online testing or something in that arena.
That, like, personality test. Myers-Briggs.
I have taken some kind of personality test at one point. When I was dating Tamra, she was very much into
Psychics and horoscopes and
No.
personality tests.
she was into like psychology and like human behavior and stuff like that, and she's like, "Oh, you should take this personality test
Okay.
for my interest."
What was your score? What'd you get?
I can't remember. I think yellow white or something like that,
Oh. Sounds like a very professional.
or maybe it was
Test.
blue white. I don't know. It was like the 4 colors, like blue, yellow, white, and red, and I can't remember which 2.
And you were like 2 of them, so that's
Yeah,
kind
well, I
of
mean, that's generally how it works. You have like a strong one and then a minor one. And I sort of worry, because I think she told me about her results and how they were slightly different, and
Okay.
I think we were looking through this book together, and it was talking about the compatibility of different kinds of personalities. And I sort of worry that maybe it's. I think like our personalities were slightly not compatible according to the book,
Okay.
and so I worry that maybe that influenced her to break up with me.
That's a good riddance.
It's sort of unfair, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Could lie on the test. Yeah, I got the it's most compatible here. Yeah, the blue, yellow.
Yeah. Look at us, match made in heaven, am I right? Where should we go for dinner?
Must be something really interesting over here.
If you just do like a regular R1 swing, is that enough to kill him, or would that be too weak?
It's always too weak. You gotta go R2 every time.
Well, I'm curious, because you do have a fairly strong weapon.
Okay. R1.
Okay.
He's not dead. And now there's 2 of them. I blame you.
Sure, pass your problems off on other people.
It's called avoidance. I'm an expert. Am I anywhere near where I'm supposed to be going?
We're sort of backtracking. So
Huh.
I would go up those stairs there.
This looks like Angkor Wat.
Angkor what?
Hello, Mr. Squid Man. He looks kind of robotic.
He does kind of like an evil vacuum.
Yeah. Shooting at dust. Some parasite melded with the soul of a vacuum cleaner.
So at the top of these stairs, there's going to be a pyromancer with some pretty
Okay.
hefty weaponry. I would
Sweet.
just rush her and smash her as soon as you can.
Okay. Going for it now. Yep, done. Is she dead? Okay.
Yeah. She's a permanent death.
Is her name Isalith?
Well, you're at Lost Isolith.
Just Could be named after the place, like a chick named America.
I suppose so. I believe America is a standard Italian female name, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's where the name America came from.
Thought it was like Spanish people who discovered America.
Whee! Could be. I'm pretty sure it was named by an Italian. Where was Ponce de Leon from? Was he Spanish?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of Spanish.
So this guy's super annoying. Generally, you want to go to the right side, to where that bubble is.
Oh, okay.
Hold up your shield.
Doop, 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 doop. Whoop. You missed. You got salad fingers going on. You want me to smash it?
Yeah.
Smash the button. There's like...
There'll be like a root structure in there that you want to hit.
Okay. Seems,
Keep going.
well, I'm worried about getting hit.
Oh, well, you're protected inside the bubble.
Can I go like this? Okay. Wow, that was easy.
Well, you're 1/3 of the way.
I'm on fire. I was dead.
So the story with this character is this is the well, maybe not this thing specifically, but in the opening cinematic you had the Witch of Izalith. I can't remember if that was her actual name, but she and her sisterhood of witches. So actually, the best thing to do is to actually save and quit right now.
Goodbye.
And then go back in. And so her story was that she tried to reignite the flame that Gwyn ended up linking himself. And but she messed up and created this bed of chaos. So she screwed up and created the boss, and I'm not sure if it's her that became the thing or if it was just separate from her.
Ugh.
So the easiest thing to do is to kind of hang against the wall and go over that direction.
Okay. Spearing floor, it's fine.
And then if you hang out right, so hang out right there and pull out your bow.
Okay, one button.
So I think she can hit you there. And then you want to try shooting at the root in the bubble. Adjust.
Yeah, and just tap that over.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna look up. There'll probably be like a diagram on what place to aim at. Because otherwise you have to kind of, run towards it like you did with the other one, and it gets harder because now she's got this scythe she can attack you with. So, yeah. So it's kind of pointing in this area here.
Alright, naming it. I'm a genius. Do I say I'm quit after this?
No, you can just. I mean, you could, but you can just as easily walk back.
Are we hungry for dinner?
Sure.
I didn't necessarily want to go out, so I thought maybe I get Chinese food.
Yeah.
Preference.
I like mushroom meat.
How about you, Chris?
Just whatever. I'll eat whatever.
Yeah. All right. Mushroom beef and some whatever.
Just gotta go in here and stab it. Yep. I'm dead, man. How do I?
So let's see if you can go back that way. Maybe hang out up here for a second.
Should hold my shield.
So
behind me.
there's a little pathway that you have to drop down onto, and it kind of angles off to the right. So if you aim for right here and drop down there, that's where you want to go.
Okay. Seems easy enough. Here! Is this? Where was that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like bonfire in Izalith anywhere.
That's great.
Not really.
Just take a look here.